Already seeing just how desperate and defensive the White House has become on all this, it's astonishing to see a failure of this capacity in such a short period of time.
Well, you know, what's amazing is that all of this is self-inflicted. We're seeing the results of the radical left-wing ideology. What is really odd is just how much today's Democratic Party has become captive to the extremists in their party, to the socialists, to the radical extremes that even a few years ago were viewed as fringe in the Democrat Party. And as the Biden White House sees the wheels coming off, they know that they are headed to a train wreck in November. They're still unwilling to change. They're doubling down. You know, I just talked about on my podcast, Verdict with Ted Cruz, how this is, you remember those old videos, Girls Gone Wild about spring break? This is liberals gone wild. This is embracing extreme, nutty views, so extreme that even the people of San Francisco just voted to recall their left-wing Soros prosecutor. When you've gone too liberal for San Francisco, that tells you are way off course for the American people.
It's astonishing. It's exactly right. It's the best example. The fact that that happened in San Francisco is amazing to everybody. But what do you think? What is happening inside of the rooms that make the decisions for this president? Obviously, Biden is not making many decisions himself. I think it's pretty clear. What are they discussing when they double down, like you just said, and they say, okay, this is doing terrible. Let's keep going. Let's keep the border open. Let's keep making these decisions. Let's keep energy production down so gas prices go higher, even though it's crushing us. How do you make that choice logically?
Yeah. So, look, I think it's a combination of three things. Number one, elected Democrats are terrified of the radicals in their own party. They look at their own party and they see that the angry extreme left, the people calling for open borders, the people calling for abolishing the police, the people who hate oil and gas and want gas prices to go higher and higher and higher, elected Democrats are more scared of those radicals than they are of the voters in November. That's one reality. A second reality from the Biden White House is Biden, there is no adult in charge. Biden is not up to the job. That is painfully obvious to anyone watching. And it's the kids who are running the show. It's the staffers who are just charging all ahead. They're hardcore ideologues, and it really is striking that they're willing to, it's like Thelma and Louise in the car going off the cliff at the end. They're willing to go all the way to the end, never mind the fiery crash that awaits them. But I'll tell you the third factor, I think this is the result of just how broken the corporate media has become, because the corporate media, they always lean left, but now they are open apologists, they are open propagandists for the White House, and so the White House believes, let's take gas prices. Joe Biden campaigned on shutting down oil and gas drilling. He promised if he was elected, he would stop new drilling on federal lands, onshore and offshore. He followed through, he delivered on that promise. It was his promise to raise gas prices, but what is the White House trying to do? They're trying to convince us that $5, $6, $7 a gallon gas is all Vladimir Putin's fault. It's not Biden's fault. It's not his policy's fault. And because they count on the corporate media to lie for them, they feel all the more willing to keep embracing radical policies and hope that they can deceive the voters into not seeing the consequences of those disastrous policies.
It is something else. I want to ask you before we let you go about gun control here for a second. The debate continues on, hearing a lot about the want and the need to own a gun instead of the right, which is in the Constitution. We saw recently Matthew McConaughey make a big display at the White House. Where do you fall on this? Because I think a lot of people look at this, and I think a lot of people fall somewhere in between of just, obviously it's really scary that crazy people can get an AR-15. Nobody likes that. But at the same time, you start to, when the left tries to take something, they're going to take it a little incrementally. They're going to take a little bit now, and then as soon as they take all the AR-15s, then they're going to go, well, you know what, AR-15s aren't really the problem. Handguns are what really kill everybody in this country. So we need to take those too.
Well, look, I think you're exactly right. Everyone is horrified by what happened in Uvalde. I was down there the day after the shooting, and it is horrific that some lunatic, that some monster can go in and murder 19 students and 2 teachers. The evil in that man's heart to systematically murder 9 and 10-year-old kids, it defies words. Yeah. I agree with actually the sentiment, ironically, that Joe Biden says, which is do something. But what we need to do is something that actually will work, that will stop these murders. And the way you stop these kind of mass murders is you target the bad guys, you target the criminals, you target felons and fugitives and those with serious mental illness who try to illegally buy firearms, and you prosecute them and you put them in jail instead of having them on the street, instead of having them be a threat to our safety. And the other thing you can do is you can harden schools, you can improve school safety, you can have armed police officers on campus. You know, the Santa Fe High School is less than an hour from my house in Houston, and I was home the morning of that horrific shooting. I was on campus within about an hour, hour and a half of the shooting. And again, it was horrific and wrong and evil. And I got to tell you, Rob, I remember sitting at a round table with the families from Santa Fe, and one of the things they discussed is that shooter went in an unlocked side door, was able to get in a classroom and murder those students without being stopped. And one of the best practices that came out through that round table is hardening schools, and in particular moving to a single entrance. You know, you think about it, a federal building, a courthouse, a bank, many of them have just one entrance. They have lots of fire exits, but they have one entrance that you have to go in to get in. And if you have a single entrance and you have law enforcement there, that's one of the best ways to keep schools safe. And it was so frustrating in Uvalde that we saw yet again the shooter go in through an open back door, get straight to a classroom, and I've introduced legislation to have federal grants to harden schools, and if that school, if Robb Elementary had been able to get one of those grants, seal those back doors, have a single entry with armed police officers at that entry, those officers could have shot and killed that monster before he killed those children. And so we ought to demand results, but we ought to demand results that stop the criminals, not what the Democrats always want to do, which is disarm law-abiding citizens. That's wrong. Yeah. It's unconstitutional, but it also doesn't work. It doesn't stop crime.
Yeah, you make a good point. We can harden the targets because, I mean, we seal up courts and government buildings every single day in this country. Why not schools? Senator Cruz, thank you so much for taking the time. Good to see you.
Yeah. Thank you.